Welcome to Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N, the first and only place to come to for movie reviews live at the cinema. We've just finished watching Glass, which is the final piece in the trilogy of the superhero series by M. Night Shyamalan. So guys, just finished watching. James, I'm going to come to you first. What's your first impression of the film?
Well, it's left a lot more questions than answers, really.
Okay.
I'll say, without going in too deep at the start, I would say, first of all, James McAvoy is the MVP of this film, 100%. The way he went in on this film, the way he switches characters all the time, some of the biggest reasons why I say that, it is a really good film, but only because McAvoy really boosts it into that high level.
I think he definitely deserves some sort of recognition up on the back of this performance and in Split. Like, I don't know how they casted this film or if they done auditioning, but I don't think anyone on earth could have done a better job than he done. Greg, what did you enjoy and what's your general impressions?
Like you guys said, McAvoy, brilliant performance. All the characters on point as usual, carried on from Split. I thought the story, it went from one place to another. It was not hard to follow, but it just kept you moving in different directions. Sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's a bad thing because you're just a bit like, am I lost here? Like James said, the end, we'll get into that later. We've just come out of the film right now, so I'm not totally sure how I feel. First impressions though, impressive. It was impressive, but there's a lot to digest.
Darren, we haven't seen you in a while. Where have you been?
Hiding, bruv.
I heard you got deported. Is that true?
Well, yeah, to St. Lucia.
Okay, fair enough. You're back now, though.
I'm back, though. I'm back.
What did you enjoy about Glass? Did it live up to your expectations?
Yes and no. I think there were some bits, it goes left and right kind of quickly sometimes and you get a bit lost. But generally, there's some bits they took from Unbreakable, stuff from Split as well, which they throw in there to keep things still quite together. In general, I have no complaints. Really? The only thing is the ending is probably, there's a lot to take in.
We've already spoken about McAvoy's performance. Anyone else or what we enjoyed about the film?
I mean, I'm going to echo Darren again. It was good that they showed elements of Unbreakable, elements of Split. It definitely felt like a trilogy. It definitely felt it was all coming together.
Did you feel closure?
In a sense, yes, because, we can say spoilers here, can't we? Obviously, they wouldn't be watching this, but it is closed in a sense. That particular story is now closed because they're all dead. I didn't see that coming. I'm not sure I'm too happy about it. The story is closed, but then it's also left open in a sense what else is out there. Elijah, Samuel L. Jackson told us that there are people out there with powers. We only saw the 3 of them, so we have to keep an open mind as to if there are others out there. Do I want it to be open? No, I don't know. To answer your question, is it closure? It is in one sense with those characters, but it's still left open.
Yeah. And apart from McAvoy's performance, James, what else did you enjoy about the film?
I thought Samuel Jackson played a really good role in Mr. Glass. The way that he was playing a very long game from the start, and it just shows you like how sick of a mastermind he was from start to finish. Even at the end, man still won. He died, but he still won. Because I was wondering what he was doing on the computers. I thought maybe he was trying to disable some security, but then when he go back, he was setting up a stream to email the video footage so they could post it online. So now all of that is exposed to the world.
One thing I would say I'd notice amongst the group, even though it's a film that we said we've enjoyed, apart from McAvoy's performance, there's not much that we said we enjoyed apart from that.
That is actually true.
That's true.
Well, on that note, well, let's talk about, Darren, I'll come to you first. Let's talk about what we didn't like. You said about Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis seemed to have not much in the film. He just seemed like he was just there. Now throw him in here, and that's about it.
Bruce Willis in this film seems more of like he was just a pawn in the movie. He was a pawn.
He was a pawn. He was a pawn in Glass's plan, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Exactly.
That's all it was. Glass needed him to expose the beast. He needed him for the bigger picture, as you say. So.
Well, Greg, anything that you didn't enjoy?
Bruce Willis got lost a bit. We didn't see Mr. Glass right until the end, although he obviously had a pivotal role because how it ended. I think there was a lot of twists and turns, and I think that's where we got lost. We were trying to be convinced that they didn't have powers, so we're like, okay, maybe that's true. Then we're seeing it with our very own eyes that they do. Then she turns bad and she knew they had powers all along, and then it got turned again. It was just lots of stuff going on, and that's why I think certain stuff might have got lost, Bruce Willis being one. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to do twists and turns. M. Night is known for that. Was there a bit too much? I'm not sure.
That is M. Night's problem, though. He does this. He does this on a regular basis, which is why Unbreakable and Split was such a breath of fresh air. But it's like he just regressed back to what he usually does in general film, and he just started doing a ridiculous amount of twists. All of a sudden, at the very end, you're going to talk about a syndicate. Why would you do that on the final part of the film rather than talk about it in the first or maybe even the second one? It makes no
sense. Point, because where have they been for 19
Yeah,
years?
exactly.
When Unbreakable happened, then Split happened, it wasn't even a thought, and now all of a sudden they're out the woodwork. I get that.
It's a bit mad.
In terms of what has been said before, in terms of what we didn't like, I agree. In terms of it seems like some of the twists were just done for the sake of it. He said like, okay, I know this is the last one, so I'm just gonna throw everything at the paintboard, see what sticks.
It wasn't all bad. It's what Darren said. I think Darren said it, summed it up perfectly. There was just something that didn't quite hold it all together. Everything was there, it just didn't quite hold it. I don't know what it. I agree with you. I can't
It's one of those films you have to watch more than once. I don't dislike this film. I think the film is good. I just think something was missing. Maybe it is that whole syndicate thing. I think that is a
see the
big
syndicate
point.
thing.
I think that's a
As
really
he said,
big
like
point.
James, it left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
It's taken all my
Just see
strength
these
not to
guys
say
with
pause.
clovers on their wrist. I was like, who
Yeah, it's
that?
like
Which
they
one?
showed us the tattoo, and I was thinking, is this supposed to mean something to me? Like, did I miss something? Yeah, exactly. I'd say one final thing about something that I didn't like. It's already been touched on before. Given that this is a trilogy, we have so many iconic characters across the series. I think that Bruce Willis deserved a better death than he got.
That was a massive
To leave him just
disrespect.
lying in a puddle, and then after that fact, there was nothing really shown on him again. I feel that was undeserved.
if they threw him in, the what was it, a vat of water, whatever it is. I know he broke it, but throw him in there and drown him.
If that
puddle.
was the case,
Come on,
kind of
like,
heroic
yeah,
death,
like
something.
obviously
I think-
he went into that swimming pool. He was afraid of water. Throw him in there. It would have been quite, like you said, it would have been a heroic death.
a much better death. I feel like that was probably one of the things that probably pissed me off the most.
Yeah.
Was the way they killed Bruce Willis, because like making him drown by putting his face in water,
Yeah.
and it's like.
It's
And
like
it was-
Little John in
it was-
Robin Hood, just making man drown in some shallow puddle.
It's a bit mad.
I felt like they could have taken some of the other plot points out and added more to his story. For example, you had this whole dynamic between him and his son. His son even was doubting him. He was doubting himself.
Yeah.
They could have showed a little moment between him, like,
course.
Dad, I believed in you.
Yeah.
Like I always trusted you and all this type of
And
stuff.
then-
Before we get into our scores, we're just gonna go around and find who our favorite McAvoy personality or character, however you want to say it, was in the film. They displayed so many. I know there were some very iconic ones that we saw in this film. I'll start with Greg.
Do you know what? There was a lot, but I'm going to go outside the box, I think. I'm going to go with Dennis. No, I think Dennis is real. Like, towards the end, he kept it real as well. He goes, look, I believe in Patricia, but I don't agree with everything, but it has to be done. So, yeah, I think Dennis is real. So I'm going to go with Dennis.
Okay, what about you, Jim?
I say for favourite characters, it'd probably be Dennis and Sedgwick, but ones that cracked me up was MAGA, the MAGA one.
Oh, yeah. He was joking.
It's like, I always believe in the Horde, man. I told you the
I think
beats.
I saw a red hat under his pillow in the film. What about you, Darren?
I would say mine's Patricia, only because for some reason when he switches from male character to a female character, it's just amazing how he does it. Wow, like
Yeah.
how did you do that?
I agree. Patricia's my favorite. I think Patricia was better in Split than this one. I think that,
I'd agree.
But still, Patricia's my favorite. As you said, like it's not just his face, it's his mannerisms, it's his posture, it's his voice. Even when he was wheeling Mr. Glass out of the asylum and he's
Yeah.
walking, I was thinking, hold on,
How did
is
he
that a
look?
woman? Like, did they change the actor for that? Like, for that one little
What did I
scene?
say
Obviously,
to
you can't see his face.
What did I say to you?
Or the
in the film?
calves.
I said his calves are huge. I was like, how did they not clock him, man?
I think, so he displayed the best of his acting ability when he was Patricia for my money. Just to conclude, as always, we're going to get to our scores out of 10. James, I'll come to you first.
I think I'll have to give it a 6.5. I was thinking of giving it a 7. The reason why I'm giving it as high as it is because James McAvoy just smacked it. I can't disrespect the film because of how good he played in this film. He literally carried most of the film for me personally.
Okay. All right, Greg.
Yeah, I think it was don't want to use the word weakest, but it would be bottom of the 3. Having said that, I did enjoy it. There was a lot of twists and turns, maybe too much. With all that being said, I'd give it a 7.
Darren.
I'll give it a 7. I'd enjoyed the film. As much as there is some bits I don't like in it, it deserves a 7. That works for me.
I thought that the first act of the film, it was very, I would say, cumbersome, was very long-winded. Obviously, it was building up to which would be the climax of the film. I felt there was a lot of things that left a bad taste in my mouth. Obviously, the highlight for me was James McAvoy, but I wanted a bit more, I think. So I would say I would give it a 6.5. So that has been our review of Glass. What did you think about the film? Did you agree with us? Did you not agree with us? What was your score out of 10? Our average score between the 4 of us will be hovering here somewhere. So as always, like, share, and subscribe. And until the next video,
Agents of S.C.R.E.E.N done, though.
peace.